This is not a film about a monster hiding in the dark. It's about what happens when trauma is never confronted. As a child, Tim witnessed something his mind could not survive, so it buried the memory and created something else instead. In The Boogeyman, 1980, the horror doesn't come from outside. It comes from what's been watching us from behind the mirror. But this story doesn't belong to one voice. To understand the fear, we need to hear it from the other side.
You know, some horror films aren't just movies, they're moods. A kind of quiet dread that just seeps into your bones and stays there. And that's exactly what we're digging into today. We're performing an autopsy on a true psychological cult classic, 1980's The Boogeyman. That line right there from our main character Lacey, that's the whole film in a nutshell. See, this kind of horror isn't about what's hiding under the bed. It's about what's hiding in your own mind, the memory you can't shake no matter how fast or how far you run. So, first thing you have to understand is that The Boogeyman isn't your typical slasher flick. No, it plays on a completely different field. It's this really chilling look at how one single traumatic moment can just curdle, festering for years until it twists into something monstrous. And that's the key, it's a feeling. You can almost feel that grainy 1980s film texture, right? The colors are all washed out, kind of sad and faded like an old photograph. There are these long, eerie stretches of silence. It's all meant to pull you right into Lacey's head. This is a true slow burn, not a series of jump scares. Everything, and I mean everything, circles back to one single awful night from the past. This is the story's ground zero, the moment that cracked the foundations of two children's lives forever. It all unfolds like a nightmare you can't quite remember clearly. You've got these two little kids, Lacey and Willie. They witness their mother's lover turn violent and tie Willie up. Lacey, in a total panic, gives her brother a knife just to cut himself free. But that's not what happens. Willie kills the man. It was self-defense, sure, but it breaks them. Willie stops speaking, for good. And Lacey, she just buries the guilt and the memory so deep it's almost like it never happened. 20 years. Just think about that. For 2 decades, that trauma was never talked about, never healed. It was just shoved down. But things you bury, well, they have a tendency not to stay buried, don't they? They wait. And this brings us to the film's most powerful, most terrifying symbol, the mirror. Believe me, in this movie, a mirror is never just a mirror. It's the stage where all the horror is about to play out. So there's a clinical term for what Lacey's been doing all these years: psychological repression. Basically, it's your brain's defense mechanism. It takes something too horrible to deal with and locks it in a box in the back of your mind. The problem is, sometimes those locks can break. The movie visualizes this idea so perfectly. The mirror literally becomes a prison for her guilt, for the memory of that man. For Lacey, he isn't just a ghost in her head. He's a physical presence she can see, trapped in every single reflection, just staring back at her. And then this happens, the turning point. In a moment of pure terror, Lacey smashes that mirror from her childhood. To her, she didn't just break glass. She broke the seal on that prison, that psychological wall she'd been building for 20 years. It just came crashing down. Okay, so this is where the film really shifts gears. All that quiet, internal horror is about to become very, very external. The past isn't just a memory anymore. It's now an active, violent threat in the here and now. Things escalate fast. People around Lacey start dying in these incredibly gruesome, bizarre ways. And here's the kicker. Every single death is connected to a reflective surface. So you have to wonder, is this a real ghost? Or is Lacey's mind so shattered that it's somehow projecting this violence into the world? The film brilliantly refuses to give you an easy answer. And this really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The film gives you two possibilities. On the one hand, maybe it is a classic ghost story, a vengeful spirit tied to the broken mirror pieces. But, on the other hand, all the evidence points back to Lacey. She starts talking in the boogeyman's voice. The haunting gets stronger as she gets weaker mentally. And then the film drops this on you, a clear, rational explanation from a psychiatrist. He basically tells her, look, there is no ghost. Your guilt is so massive, so all-consuming, that you've created this boogeyman personality to punish yourself and everyone around you. So, how do you fight a monster that might just be you? This brings us to the movie's ending, which is deeply unsettling, because it gives us absolutely no easy answers. Yeah, if you're waiting for that big heroic showdown, you're not going to get it. There's no final battle, no defeating the evil. At the end of it all, the family members who are still left just get in their car and drive away. They're trying to escape, just like Lacey has been trying to do her entire life. And that's the final, chilling idea that sticks with you long after the movie's over. The real terror of the boogeyman is that it suggests some wounds are too deep to heal. It's not a monster you can fight and kill. It's something that becomes a part of you, a ghost that's always riding in the passenger seat, forever reflected in your rearview mirror. So the film leaves us wrestling with this one last question. If a fear is powerful enough to destroy your family, to make you kill, to completely shatter your sense of reality, does it even matter if it's real or not? The damage is done. And that is the true, inescapable horror of the boogeyman.
If it lives there long enough, does the difference even matter? Some fears don't need a body. They only need to be remembered. Because what haunts us the longest is never what we see, but what we refuse to face.